What is going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. Today we got my new Chucky doll. Now this is by Chucky Belgium. And if you remember, I had a Chucky doll that I got like 4 or 5 years ago, and I also got it from him. And I ended up selling it because some guy off Instagram wanted to buy it off me for $1,500. I was like, sure, because I knew I could just buy this one for $1,000. And he told me he had made some upgrades, so I'm like, sure, let's do it. Let's see what some of those upgrades are. Now, there are definitely some upgrades to this piece and some downgrades, and I'll go over that. But this is basically what I got. Now, he included a knife hand. Granted, the knife didn't fit perfectly, and the moment I insert the knife, it does scrape up the paint. So that knife is just going to stay there permanently, otherwise you will see a scrape mark. So he didn't make the hand quite big enough to actually hold a knife. There is also this hand, which is kind of like a holding hand, I suppose. And then this hand is more or less just like an open hand. And then I also got the flip off hand. My plan is to display it like that. Flipping you off, saying F you, and then knife up like that using the Trick or Treat Studios bloody voodoo knife. And I actually have a Chucky base coming. It hasn't even shipped yet. I don't know why, but I may have to file an eBay claim. But, you know, it did come with this voodoo doll. The voodoo doll does look a little bit better than the previous voodoo doll. It's also a little bit bigger. You know, but like you could have him holding it. It is bigger than the last voodoo doll, and I think it looks a little bit better. The skin tone is better. It's darker, how it should be in the movie. Now, the thing that kind of surprised me that I thought was a downgrade in my opinion is there is 0 wires in the middle body. There's wires like that, wire like that, and something in the head. But the body is literally just like a pillow, like it's a plush. And so therefore he cannot stand on his own without some sort of stand. And I wasn't made aware of this. He told me he had made some upgrades and the previous one could stand on its own. Granted, it had a heavy head, so you'd have to angle it. And I still used that, which I'm going to have to use for this one. But he still hasn't made it good enough for the body, like it's a plush in the middle, which I am not a fan of, and I wish he would have told me that, because I would have told him not to do that, because I don't like that. I don't like a plush Chucky. I understand you need to put some cushioning for, you know, just thickness, and in general it is a doll which does have cushioning. I like the way NECA did it. I think NECA did the best job for like a body. Like it feels solid, everything moves good, and even this hand, because it's not fully wired, it is plush. The knife hand, I can't adjust it higher up because it's too heavy and it falls down. So in terms of just all that aspect, I think he failed quite bad. You know, I think Belgium Chucky over the last 4 years has downgraded because the previous Chucky could hold a knife up and wouldn't fall over if I had it standing at the perfect angle. Granted, the head was too heavy. I think he made improvements over the head. This one's like on a ball joint. It moves a lot. The hands move. Previous one, they did not move. This one, they do move. The legs also move good, but he definitely failed in terms of this middle body and the fact it can't even hold a knife. And that knife hand still needs to be slightly wider to accommodate for the voodoo knife. So that's the biggest negative aspect, is that. Now I am getting a Chucky doll display, you know, something to hold it up, which is kind of, you know, going to help that. And I still can't get, as you can see, the knife hand that high up, which still looks really good. But I couldn't get it any higher than that, otherwise it will start to fall down. This hand you can do any direction you want. But I still think that looks, in general, really good. Now, the clothing, I do think is a little bit better. It's a little bit more color accurate. It's very vibrant and looks good. The shoes, they are slightly better. I think they're better painted and the material is slightly better. The other ones, I don't know, they weren't quite as good. I think the shoes are better, the clothes are better, the hands are better, the ball joints or whatever are better. You know, like this, as you can see, this thing does move. It's a little, you know, firm right now, but this moves, meaning the hand you can angle in different positions. So it's on this ball joint. And the head is the exact same. You can angle the head and move it. Now the head is the biggest improvement in my opinion, like that right there. So he's still doing more or less a wig that he just glued on. And the material for the hair is different than my last Chucky doll. The hair color is fine, but the material is almost, I don't know. You tell me. It's almost, what's this remind me of? It's similar to my Lurt's bust, if you remember that, where it's kind of like fluffy and has like a, I don't know, some sort of like animal hair. And personally, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think the old Chucky had better material for the hair. I feel like this hair is not very good. You know, like I prefer the hair on my NECA Chucky. I think that material is better. Now, when it comes to the face, this is the shining, you know, thing. He did a really good job on those teeth. Like those look 1,000 times better than the old one. The Chucky sculpt more or less looks the same, but it does look better painted. The eyes look great. You know, like the red hue on the cheek looks good. The eyebrows and everything are painted excellent. Good shading all throughout. It has that evil, sinister look. In general, the hands look good. They're well painted. There are a few like, you know, like it's brand new out of the box and it already has like a tiny black mark right there. You know, right there as well. And it just barely came out of the bubble wrap like that. And like I said, the moment I put that knife hand in, it did scuff up the paint instantly on that hand. So you have to permanently have a knife. Granted, that is what I'm going to do, but it shouldn't do that. This is all plush, except for this head feels like it's resin made. And then this is all plush. So you're not going to be able to really do much with that. I'm just more or less throwing it on the ground. Now, I could technically swap out that knife for the yardstick, but generally I still prefer the knife. I like Chucky with a knife, you know. The biggest thing I may consider is changing the flip-off for the right open palm, this one, and having him hold the voodoo doll, because that's kind of how I did my last one, holding the knife with the voodoo doll, which I do like that pose. I think it looks cool. Although technically I'd want to put the knife hand in there and the voodoo doll in there to make that work. My old Chucky doll never had a knife hand. They were both like this. Open palm, no like slightly gripping one like this. And I didn't have a flip off one. So I do like the fact he's added swap out hands. I have not tried to swap it out, but I'm going to guess it's going to be a pain in the butt considering how like stiff this is. I don't think it would be easy. I think I'm going to have to pull quite hard. And I'd honestly be afraid to damage it. And I even tried heating up the hand to soften it before I put the knife in, and this does not soften. So it's not a resin material. It's something else that doesn't soften when, you know, because I used a heat gun on that Chucky to get the gun in because it wasn't fitting. I didn't want to scratch it up. So I used the heat gun and I was able to spread the fingers open and put it in. This did not do that. So overall, the best thing about this is definitely going to be the total outfit and that face. The biggest letdown is going to be the hair and the fact that he didn't put a wire frame in the actual body. Only the legs, arms, and head has some sort of wire. And he should have told me that. If you remember, I got a previous Chucky 2 doll that was silicone, and I had a lot of issues with that. That one had absolutely no wires whatsoever. It's completely plush. And the portrait looked good. The hair was complete trash, like far worse than this one. And the portrait wasn't as good as this either. The skin tone was not very good. And I sold that one instantly. It was an instant regret. This one, I overall do really like it quite a bit. Is it better than NECA? Let me get a good look at NECA. I mean, granted, they are different style Chuckies. NECA has, you know, movable glass eyes, superior hair. You know, it's the much darker themed outfit, not quite as vibrant. He does have, you know, there's no swap outs. I like the body and the hair better on NECA. I would say overall NECA is still probably a superior Chucky doll. And of course, it's half the cost. But in terms of Chucky 2, I would still say this is the best Chucky doll out there. You know, based off all the ones I've seen. I still think Chucky Belgium makes the best. You know, my last one, Tenuk Art, huge regret. I would never buy from them again. I think they have a decent sculpt, but they really cheapen out on everything else. The plush body, the outfit, the hair. And I do think Chucky Belgium cheaped out on the hair and the lack of a metal frame on this. So, I mean, if you're going to do a plush body, please advise your buyers. I was not advised that. So I have a Chucky, stand coming. So until then, we're going to use this to go ahead and put it right there. I haven't put it there yet. I've just had it here on my couch. But overall, I'd probably give this 8 out of 10 overall. Where NECA Chucky, I would give like a 9 or 9.5 out of 10. I really do love that NECA Chucky. This one definitely is an absolute killer portrait. I love that portrait. And I do love the general costume. I love the vibrant colors, and I think it looks really good. I do like the fact there are switch outs. I don't know how often I'll switch it out, because I know it's going to be a pain in the butt. Just looking at it, I'm like, yeah, that's definitely a pain in the butt. But yeah, overall, definitely still really cool, and definite upgrade over my previous Chucky. The only thing that one had better was hair, not necessarily length or cut, but just the material of the hair, and the fact it had a metal frame inside. That one had a really heavy head, though. It was really annoying how heavy the head was. And it had more of almost like a wooden look. This one has slightly less wooden look. And I think this one just resembles the movie a little bit better. And that one I'd probably rate a 7 out of 10, like I said. So 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10. But still the best Chucky 2 doll, and I'm definitely happy I got it. This does retail at $1,000 from them, or like, I don't know, something like that. 1,000 to 1,200 or something. I think it is overpriced, because originally when I bought my Chucky doll, it was $700. The only additional things I got was the extra 2 hands. And my old one did also include a knife. He didn't include the voodoo knife. I told him not to, though. Because his knife, I wasn't very happy with the quality. And I like this Trick or Treat one. It's actually really good. But yeah, this is definitely better than my last one. That portrait is absolute killer. Very good looking portrait. Let's go ahead and put it over there now. Alrighty, folks, so here it is. Now, I will say it is a tad shorter than the NECA Chucky. I swear my previous one was as big as this NECA Chucky, but this one is a little bit shorter. Not like huge shortness, but maybe like 1.5 inches. I currently kind of just have it leaning against that metal rod thing. Until I do get the Chucky base. It's just like leaning, and I angled the head a little up and to the side, which is really nice. I like the fact it has that feature. It makes it much better. Doing a head angle can kind of sometimes bring a piece alive, plus angling it up and down and so forth is really convenient. So I have him looking slightly up, slightly to the side. We put the voodoo doll right between his legs with the good guys battery and thing there. I believe my base also includes one of those Chucky letters to the teacher when he beat her with that yardstick. But let me just back it up so you can get a good idea of this wall, because this does complete the wall. Now in this display, we just have the voodoo for dummies behind them. Where this one, you got a plethora of things. The box, the yardstick, the DVD set, pop toy, movie maniac set. Sorry, I got the hiccups. Yeah, there is the display, though. One could argue, though, the NECA Chucky's slightly taller because my feet aren't completely straight down. They're slightly out because of the plushness. So I think the plushness is contributing to that. But there it is, folks. Let me know what you guys think. Definitely the thing I love most about that Chucky is just that portrait is just solid. I think Belgium Chucky definitely has a real gift when it comes to sculpting Chucky faces. I think he just needs, like I said, needs to work on the hair and not doing plush body. And then that would be the biggest things I'd suggest. Also making sure a knife hand can actually hold a knife and not ruin the paint the moment you insert a knife in. Anyways, folks, that is it for today's video. Next statue, let's see, we got another Iron Studios coming, and then Big Chap soon, another Zelda statue. Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff coming real soon. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video. If you guys are looking to buy any statues, please use the links below. It does help the channel. You know, best retailer in the business, Secret Compass Online. If you're looking for anime or anything, Kyle Nation and Hexapus HCG. See you guys in the next one. Have a great day.